www.thefof.com is dropping knowledge all over you.
Hi, my name is the Fof, and I am the creator and curator of this particular show called The Fof Guide. Basically, it's all about helping students understand education and how to be a better student, as well as just learning how to survive post-secondary education. So you'll like this show, I think. In this particular show, I have interviewed a gentleman by the name of Bob Basil, and he does a really good job of explaining mentorship. So thank you very much. So Bob, thank you very much for coming out.
Oh, my pleasure.
I appreciate you letting me in your home and doing all that. So how are you today?
I'm great. I finished up a really wonderful semester at Kwantlen Polytechnic University.
Great.
Lucky man to have students, and I have the summer off, so I plan on doing a fair amount of writing, as well as reading and other professional development activities.
Perfect. So what exactly is a mentor?
A mentor is someone who takes an interest in the professional and personal success of someone else. It can be a professor with a student, it can be a professor with another professor, it can be an editor with a writer, it can be even an older sibling with a younger sibling, but the main point is that it's a person who takes a personal interest in the success of someone else, and that interest can take the form of a number of ways. Imparting wisdom, giving financial and emotional support, education. Sometimes as a mentor, my greatest mentoring achievements has been taking an interest in, let's say, a student's life and introducing that student to a person who can give her or him an excellent research job, for example, that helps pay the bills as well as enhances his or her resume. And in the same case with this one student I'm thinking of, it also involved an introduction to a friend of mine who was able to hire her in a top flight media job in New York City. So most of what I did as a mentor was say, student, please meet my colleague professor. Student, I would like you to meet my best friend. And those two simple sentences really help set this person up. But the key thing was that in this and other cases, I took a personal interest in the success of someone else.
Is it a good idea to have more than one mentor, or?
You can never have too many mentors. This student I'm thinking of, she had several mentors, and she chose them wisely. She had a mentor in her field, which was media and journalism. She had a personal support mentor, which pretty much was what I was doing. She had a mentor professionally when she got her job in New York City. The last time I talked to her, this particular student, she told me that what she really wants, over and above her professional success, is to become a mentor herself.
Excellent, excellent. So can anyone be a mentor, or?
Yes, anyone can be a mentor. You don't have to be older than someone else. You don't have to be in the same organization. You don't even have to be connected geographically. You can be a mentor for somebody who lives in a different country around the world, with Skype, with email, and that's more and more often the case.
Awesome. So what does it take to be a mentor? I mean, how does one become a mentor? I mean, that's interesting. You know, it's
How does one become a mentor? I don't think you wake up one morning and say, I want to become a mentor. You see it happening. Let me tell you a story of the first real mentor that I had. I was in university, and I was writing for the school newspaper, and the editor of the school newspaper was a fellow named Jay Rosen, who now is very, very famous as a media critic at New York University. And he was a senior, and I was a freshman, a first-year student. And he saw in me someone who had an equivalent intense interest in reporting and in journalism. And so he just pushed me and pushed me and pushed me. I like to say, you don't even have to like your mentors very much. And he pushed me so hard, I was aggravated and irritated by Jay all the time. And he was aggravated and irritated by me all the time. But what was important in his mind was we both really cared about the same thing, which was the quality of the journalism on the paper. And he knew that as hard as he pushed me, I welcomed it. Years later we became friends, but we weren't friends at the time. But he was my first great mentor. And I didn't realize it at the time that I was his mentee until afterwards, when I realized, gosh, he really gave so much of himself to me. He really helped guide my career. Later on, I became a professional mentor when I was at Stanford University teaching a number of courses. I was asked by the English department and the writing and critical thinking department to mentor new graduate students to help them in their first teaching assignments. And that's a really big deal. You have to help them, class preparation, conflict resolution, how to conduct one-on-one meetings with students, and then off they go teaching at Stanford University. When you're a mentor, it's a very intense, almost intimate experience in the sense that you are kind of getting right into the life of someone else and helping the magnetic center of their creative and professional life point in the right direction, giving them extra energy and support. A lot of times a mentor is just someone, for the most 95% of the time, you're there to answer questions. Hey, can you look at this? Am I doing this the right way? A mentor is someone who will pick up the phone when a mentee calls. And sometimes it's just emotional support, guidance.
okay. So, with the mentorship, how does it work at school? I mean, does everybody need one, or what do you think?
Everybody needs a mentor. I tell my students that they should leave university with 3 things. 1, a well-earned education. Don't just float through, love your homework, work hard, so that after 4 or 5 years you leave a really improved person. The other 2 things, you need an editor. You need someone that you can trust to look at your written work and give you a frank and helpful and useful opinion, good feedback. We all need that. I've been a professional writer since I've been 17 years old, and I have always required an editor. As professional and as good a writer as I am, I need an editor. And the third thing, addressing what we're talking about today, is you need to find a mentor, at least one mentor.
So you can't live without one when you're a student? But then again, there's so many mentors in your life that...
I think all teachers, to some extent, mentor their students in the sense that they give advice, they give feedback, they impart their wisdom. So as a professor, we are kind of professional mentors. What I tell my students is that you need, avail yourself of all the help your professors want to give you. That's what they're there for. Every once in a while you'll find a professor who isn't as there as you might hope, but most of them are. At a place like Kwantlen, practically all of them are. They are there for their students. You know, office hours, email, face-to-face conversations, as well as in class. But over and above that, I think you want to find someone, and it doesn't have to be a professor. It can be a staff member. It can be another student who has, let's say, more experience than you,
Yeah.
that you can go to and get advice, get feedback, get additional information. Someone who can be your go-to person. You can't navigate your early professional life well without help, no matter how smart you are, no matter how much wherewithal you have. And I've known some pretty crafty people over the years. And they failed when they didn't have a mentor. I could tell, and that's what I try to do as a mentor is, you know, lift people up and put them in a place where they belong with all of their talent and experience.
I totally agree with what you said. I have a mentor. His name's Nick Engels. He actually teaches at Kwantlen, and he's been a really good mentor. And he he edits my papers too.
Right,
so he's an editor. Because I remember when your class, you said that you need a good editor and a good mentor.
Right.
You know, so he's both basically. But I do have other kind of mentors, but mostly he does most of the legwork, and he lives very close to me, so it's all good. So Bob, I appreciate you coming out or letting me in your home, and thank you so much.
My pleasure, Jamie.
Awesome, great.